Imagine a massive new corporate campus, planned down to the very millimeter. At the head of a glass conference table sits Kabir, a veteran chief architect, reviewing the final schematics. Every single structure on this campus has been perfectly aligned. It's the result of years of advanced planning, countless surveys, and a rigorous, uncompromising mathematical grid. Construction begins Tuesday. There is a profound psychological comfort in a document like this. We can call it the seduction of the blueprint. When leaders face the terrifying uncertainty of a massive new project, a flawless long-term plan acts as a shield against the fear of failure. The danger is that we become so deeply attached to the safety of these pristine, rigid frameworks that we begin to mistake the theoretical blueprint for reality itself. But reality always gets a vote. On Monday morning, the excavation crew hits a snag. The initial digital scans missed a massive, centuries-old banyan tree sitting dead center of the primary access road. Its roots extend 3 times wider than anticipated. Pulling the tree out will delay the entire project by months and risks destabilizing the soil near the foundation. Kabir's immediate reaction is to stop the clock. He looks at his grid lines and proposes overriding the schedule, petitioning the local municipal board for emergency clearance and spending 3 weeks redrafting the structural phases. This is a classic perfectionism trap. It's an operating system error where preserving the integrity of the original design suddenly becomes more important than actually solving the problem on the ground. When confronted by unexpected friction, a professional's first instinct is often their most fatal, trying to forcefully bend physical reality back into their theoretical framework. Sitting next to Kabir is Tara, an unconventional designer who approaches the problem differently. She isn't looking at the blueprint. She is looking out the window at the actual living tree. Pulling out a blank sheet of paper, she suggests an immediate, unapproved solution. We change the road today. With a thick charcoal pencil, she sketches a curve that gently hugs the contours of the banyan's roots. Kabir protests. He argues about logistics and the loss of symmetry. But as Tara points out, that symmetry is entirely artificial. The tree is already there. Bending the road around the roots certainly breaks the rigid grid they promised the stakeholders, changing the dynamic of the entrance. But it creates a natural, shaded roundabout instead of an imposing asphalt highway. True innovation requires the courage to abandon an artificial promise in favor of working directly with what physically exists in front of you. They don't wait for a committee. By that afternoon, Tara leaves the conference room and is standing directly on the construction site, bypassing the redrafting phase completely. The execution happens in real time. Tara guides the operators, shifting the path by a few feet whenever a thick new root surfaces in the dirt. This process is incredibly messy. It's entirely driven by the reality on the ground. Real adaptability is never a clean drafting process. It is a highly reactive state that simply cannot be forecasted or neatly scheduled. It is completely normal to fear going off script, but learning to tolerate this messy, reactive phase is the only viable way to survive a disrupted master plan. Fast forward 2 years, and the massive corporate campus finally opens its doors. The corporate executives and stakeholders walk the grounds, but they don't talk about the mathematically precise grid system of the offices. They don't mention the perfectly aligned glass facades they originally paid for. Instead, they talk about the drive into work. They talk about how the road curves gracefully around a magnificent canopy of green, forcing everyone to slow down, breathe, and appreciate the view before they ever reach their desks. Inside the main lobby, the original master blueprint hangs framed on the wall, but outside, the asphalt bends beautifully around the living truth. A master plan is absolutely vital for securing funding and building initial momentum, but when you finally break ground, you have to let the obstacle dictate the final strokes, because more often than not, the obstacle is offering you a better plan.